Okay, what happened at brunch, Harry?
There was one Sunday morning brunch where somebody broke wind.
Ooh.
And it was awful.
Ooh.
My brother pointed it out. He was like, "Oh, what is that?"
Okay.
And growing up, together, there was a rule in the house: whoever smelt it, dealt it, and whoever denied it, supplied it.
Yeah, I've heard the phrase.
They were all looking at M, and it was hurtful to presume that it was my wife.
Okay, but who was it? Was it Meghan?
Yes, it was her brand. But to presume that...
All right, but it was her. She farted.
She had eaten the taco the night before.
Ugh.
But
I just don't see how this is very traumatic.
I think there was a real sense of unconscious bias because she was new and an imposter to the family.
Harry, did you just fart?
I did.
Oh.
Yeah, silent, but deadly.
Oof, Jesus.
It's ginger and spicy. It's my brand.
Ugh.
So we need to modernize the conversation.
Ugh.
And I love my brother.
I know.
My family.
Likely dating profiles.
Sick of seeing your family? Date me, Meghan Markle.
Let's watch Harry and Meghan.
As best as we can.
She's annoying.
The role that they play in this really.
I live in this cottage here.
Right, okay. Nice.
That's where we lived before when Kath and I first got married.
Right.
So we lived in there.
Do you see a lot of each other around here?
We do, yeah. We always try and make time to see each other and
Right.
pop round, and he comes and scrounges all food off us and things like that.
Please let me handle this. Calm down. Now get back to your seat. I'll take care of this. Calm down. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Doctor, you're wanted on the phone. Everything's gonna be all right.
Sister, please, I'll handle this.
Week did a poll. Their approval ratings went off the cliff. They were maintaining some popularity here in the United States, never in Britain since they pulled all their shenanigans last year. But here in the United States, they were doing okay. Now they're both below zero on their approval. They've been up in like the 40s. I don't know it's like a 40 to 60 point swing, something absurd. So sometimes it's better just to be quiet and let people wonder about whether you're a prick instead of actually proving it.
That's so good. Well, those poor royals, they never get a break. Yeah. It's just such a tough life.
All these charges fail.
I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna say. You're not gonna ask me questions. I'm gonna tell you.
Got it.
Okay? I want you guys to realize that we have 7 kids. And you being here to escort them to school and to be there when they come home is not good. So on a human level, you guys know I'm not going to say anything to you. You know that. So please, leave my family in peace and let this all play out.
Who didn't want to be a prince anymore, but his dad's still the king, so I think he's technically a prince. He married a lady called Meghan from a TV show you've never watched. Meghan didn't like anyone in the castle, so they were all racist. So they decided to move to California to be more private. But then they turned around and said, give me millions of dollars to write a book, do a podcast, and make a TV show about how terrible life in the palace is. And then we'll go back to being private, right?
Well, look who it is. Ginger pubes and sad act.
Harry and Meghan are absolutely insufferable. They always say that they don't want attention, and yet I find them in the news constantly. For people who hate the public eye and paparazzi, they seem to be in the public eye quite a lot. Harry's recent release of his memoir, Spare, is interesting to say the least. This is a bit of a review on the book. It's not just the problem of oversaturation, although there is that. The joke that Harry has broken his silence again is turning into a cliche, and I agree. This is the opposite of silence, a constant cacophony. The appearances come thick and fast now, with 2 major TV interviews for the book's release, both heavily trailed with deja vu-ish quotes. I don't know how staying silent is ever going to make things better. Last year's 6-hour Netflix saga made me feel like I was stuck in a Groundhog Day of softly lit petty grievances and dramatic but vague claims. Quote, I had to do everything I could to protect my family, said Harry. I was being fed to the wolves, said Meghan. We saw a couple who seemed paralyzed by bitterness, who had overplayed their hand and overestimated the public's interest in them.
Their mere story has raised issues about misogyny within the institution of the monarchy, about unconscious bias or racism. And I know Harry called it unconscious bias. I'm still going to call it racism, because I think that it's only not racist when it's unconscious. The second someone makes it conscious to you and you try and minimize it or skirt the topic, or recollections may vary it, that is racism, you know. And I'm sorry to you know, that even me saying that makes people feel uncomfortable.
This time it's really obvious, and it's not subtle at all. Look at the way she rubs her hand up his shoulder. By the time she touches his back, he knows to get the F out of the way. And she slides it up and forcefully pushes him back. Not a tap saying, hey, here I am, let me go first. A physical push away so that she can step in front and greet the other people first. And do you notice how he cowers away at her touch? It's quite sad to see, honestly. Him literally flinching at her touch. And that says something to me. It looks like she's broken him.
His wife is setting him up to fail. This, incidentally, is the view of many other people. She is making him look as loopy as possible, so that all she has to do is get her green marker out and underline all the crazy stuff and present it to the judge at the divorce proceedings. Quotation marks. See, he is crazy. Sorry. See, he's crazy.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. I'm sure you've heard by now, but we have new merch. Check out my new merch. That is on teespring.com, and I believe it's /Real Housewives Recaps, but I put a link in the description of this video as well. So check it out for everything, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.